Sadhguru, you mentioned before that you are simply an act and that there is no actor left. Then who is it that's drunk or feeling the bliss of samadhi?
Why do you think people drink? People drink alcohol because they have a hope that it will completely dissolve them and they will know an absolute sense of abandon. That's why they drink. People who cannot even sing in their bathrooms will start singing and dancing on the street with a few drops of alcohol because only the act is left. The actor has receded, not gone, receded. One who was a big man has become, if not a child, at least a small boy. They begin to think, act, speak like little boys once they're drunk, even old men. So that means the actor is receding. I'm using decent language, otherwise I should say you're retarding. Retardation is a bad word only if retardation is half done. If your retardation is total, that means nothing is left. Growth means going up. To retard means to go backwards. If you are halfway backward, it's a problem. If you're all the way gone, no problem. So, if the actor is gone, if it's all just an act, who gets drunk? To be drunk also is an act. When you say life, there are so many ways to look at it. One way is, what you call as life is a complex chemical activity. Without chemistry, there's no life. So if you can call such a large act, chemical act, as just an act, why can't you call a little extra chemistry of drink also as an act? So being drunk also is an act. Being blissful is also an act. Anyway, it is your act. Why don't you do the right act? That's all I'm asking you. Maybe you have already heard me saying this. It happened one day. A lady who is little over her prime went to bed. And in her sleep, she had a dream. In her dream, a real hunk of a man was looking intensely at her and started coming towards her. Closer, 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 he came really close. She could even feel his breath. She trembled, not in fear, and asked, "What will you do to me?" The man said, "Well, lady, it's your dream." After all, it's your act, it's your thought, it's your emotion. You can make it anything you want. Now, behind this, is there a substantial actor? No. Because an actor within you, the one who acts or one who propels this act, is just an accumulated creation. It is a mass of accumulations which makes you into a person. This is what traditionally we are referring to as karma. It is a whole karmic accumulation of information which makes you into a certain kind of person with certain kind of tendencies. It is this accumulation which you are calling as myself, that is the actor. If the actor already has certain tendencies, certain qualities, certain limitations, certain possibilities, the act will also be limited. If there is no actor with any particular quality, with any kind of accumulation, with any kind of compulsive tendencies within himself, now the act can be played whichever way you want. Now, is there any one place where we can locate this person? Will dissection or contemplation will ever locate this person who calls himself myself or me? There is no such person anywhere. The actor is also an act. It's just that you get so identified with the act that both the act and the actor seem to be so real, more real than real. What you call as myself right now is essentially a psychological process. It is not an existential process. What is psychological is not a reality, it is only a happening. It is only a certain resultant activity. Because of a certain gathering of information, certain type of thought and emotional process is happening. If you take away, wipe out the information, there will be no such activity. The flower is real. The fragrance is also real, but it is a resultant activity. Because there is a flower, fragrance is happening. If you remove the flower, the fragrance lingers only for a certain period of time and then it's gone. Only if that source is on, it is there. And flower is also a very limited happening. So psychological activity is sustained only as long as the necessary information is there. And psychological activity becomes a compulsive force only when you're deeply identified with what you have gathered. If you are not identified with what you have gathered, now still the act goes on, but there is no actor behind it, because it is only the identity which makes you the actor. If there is no identity, there is really no actor. This is the reason why you cannot even locate yourself, because you don't exist. I know that I do not exist. I know that I do not exist. You think you exist. Now, is this all some kind of wonky talk just to confuse the hell out of us? How can I confuse you? You're already thoroughly confused about your existence. I wish I could do the job, but you've done it already. There's no chance for me. I would like to confuse you, but you have not left anything to me. You've done it very well. There is not much to confuse, only because one is so confused about his own existence, he can be made to believe just about anything, just about anything. When you're as confused as you are about the very nature of your existence, even if you go to a palm reader, he may charge only 10% of the fee, because anyway you're such a lost case. Now, when I say a lost case, not in terms of your life or your business or your family, you may make it all these things you may conduct them pretty well. I'm saying you as a being, because your very being here is a make-believe happening. It is just a gathered existence. Does it mean to say, I have no soul? Yes, you have. Both of them intact, I'm sure. Is there something inside me? No, there is nothing inside you. When I say there is nothing inside you, yes, there is nothing inside you. Maybe you must put a hyphen between no and thing. There is a no thing. It is not an actor. It is not this nor that. It is not it. It is as small as it can be, as anything can be, and it is as boundless as anything can be. So, it neither is or isn't. It is not the way you understand life. It is not the way you perceive existence right now, because your perception of existence is purely physical. It doesn't fit into that realm at all. It is very natural for you to understand, if there is an act, there is an actor. Even yesterday, there was a poem, there's a dance, there's a dancer. That's not how it is. That was yesterday, that was the first satsang. So, is this just one big act? It is. It is. So, is it all illusion? It is, but the illusion is real. Just before the home school closed, a few young boys came up to me and asked, Sadhguru, is life real or is it a dream? Their words were, is life true or is it a dream? I said, life is a dream, but the dream is true. Now are we just playing with more and more words, not trying to get anywhere, going in circles? So if everything is just a dream, if everything is unreal, then enlightenment is also unreal. No. If so much unreality is there is also reality. And that reality is neither the act nor the actor. It doesn't belong to the land of duality. It doesn't belong to the dimension of duality. So it is neither the actor nor the act. It is not of any quality. If there was an attribute to it, if there was a quality to it, you could have called it either the act or the actor, because it doesn't ascribe to any quality, it doesn't have any attribute attached to it. You cannot call it the actor, you cannot call it the act. It is the landscape on which everything happens. Actors and act happens in the landscape of who you are. Please see. Your personality and all the act that you perform all happens in a larger consciousness, which is just a landscape behind. It is just an empty scape, it is not even a landscape. It is just an empty scape on which you can do anything you want. You can run a small act with one actor, or you can run a phenomenal act with 1,000,000 actors. You can run whatever you want because it's an empty scape and it's a boundless scape. It's up to you what kind of act you want to put on. It's up to you what kind of actor you want to build. Because a large part of both the actor and the act happens in such unconsciousness, and it is compulsive. Because of the compulsiveness, you think it's real. Not only real, it is happening from somewhere else. It is not happening from anywhere else. This empty scape of nothingness is capable of accommodating any kind of actor and any kind of act. That's why it's your choice. You can become godlike, you can become like a demon, you can become anything you want, because it's an empty scape. It is like once it happened. In a business meeting, the head of that institution came and put up a large white sheet and went there and drew a little dot, black dot. And he asked everybody, "What do you see?" They all looked at it and said, "It's a dot." Somebody said, "It's a spot." Somebody said, "It's a full stop." Somebody said, "It's a period." This, that. He went on asking, "What do you see? What do you see?" They got frustrated. "Okay, man, it's a black dot, what about it? You want us to give 1,000,000 meanings to it?" And I said, this is the problem. The problem why all of us are operating the way we are operating right now is we miss the whole empty scape behind it. Our focus is on the little dot. Right now, what you call as creation is just a tiny dot in an immeasurable empty scape. Whether you look this way or you look that way, you see only a large empty scape, nothing else. What you call as creation, what you call as happening, what you call as act or the actor is just a spot. Rest is all an empty scape. Because the nature of existence is such. Today, modern science is proving this to you, that time and space can be packed. Today, modern physics proves to you that the whole universe can be packed into something smaller than an atom. Today, modern physics proves that to you, that the whole universe exploded from a tiny dot and became a whole universe. This is called as the Big Bang. This Big Bang is continuously expanding still. One day it may so happen, the physical theories say, a big crunch may happen, that everything may get crushed into a tiny little dot once again. So what you know as space and time, what is here and there, what is now and then, this is the act. All the act happens because there is space and time. And this space and time doesn't really exist, it's the projection of your mind. So both the act and the actor is your creation. When I say your creation, so is there one more actor behind the actor? Not in that sense. It is a non-acting process. It is a scape of nothingness, a non-scape, but it is capable of containing every kind of act that you wish. People are doing this out of illness. Schizophrenic means somebody becomes two inside one. There have been cases where a single person is living up to 32 different personalities within himself, full-scale personalities with relationships, life, everything. That is the maximum recorded in modern psychology. But there have been yogis who have lived hundreds of lives within themselves, because it's an empty scape. You can write as much as you want, it's never going to become full. You don't have to fear that. Generally it is happening out of sickness, but if you are conscious, also it can happen. You can draw a very complex act or you can draw a simple act, it's up to you. Because anyway it's an empty scape. The idea of an inner actor is just an illusory idea. But right now it seems to be real because we are identified with simple things that we have gathered. Anything that you touch, you get identified with it. So it looks all real. So to be drunk, to be blissful, to be miserable, to be in ecstasy, to be in agony, you don't need an actor, nor do you need an act. You can simply go through all these things because that's the act. You can do whatever you want. It's after all yours. Write whatever you want. You want to draw a beautiful picture or an ugly picture, it's up to you. Or you want to have a line drawing or you want to have a detailed painting, it's up to you. So when I said that I'm just an act, I'm just being straight about it. You are pretending to be real. Yes.